panels, opening government already talked more house about the beauty standard itself, what is the harm, but they didn't explain more how the beauty standard will be bad until the roots of the woman itself, ladies and gentlemen. But before that, several engagement towards the opening oppositions. This says that K-pop industry also talking about their talent, hard work, achievement, and so on so far, ladies and gentlemen. But understanding also is not accessible to all of the entire agency that exists in the K-pop industry itself, ladies and gentlemen, because it's only happened to those people to those agencies that already famous and so on so far, ladies and gentlemen. So that's why they can tell us about how they are inspiring people and so on so far. That's to say that those things that talk about their talent and hard work and achievement cannot be accountable at the end of the day, because of the moment they want to enter to the agency itself, ladies and gentlemen, they also have to think about they also have to follow the standard, for example, that already made by the agency. For example, they have to be a thin woman, they have to have a long blue hair and so on so forth. So that's why the things that talk about the talent, hard work can be accounted, ladies and gentlemen. They also talks about the cosmetic that already exists in the K-pop industry, how they be the ambassador and so on so forth, can express people also for the binary people and ladies and gentlemen. But we say that even if there is various kinds of cosmetic that coming from the K-pop industry itself, ladies and gentlemen, the ambassador that coming from the cosmetic itself also coming from the white skin people, for example. So that's why it shaped again the people society in terms of choice what cosmetic that choose that suit with their skin, ladies and gentlemen. It's also happened in Indonesia. The moment there are local product that coming from the local Indonesia itself, ladies and gentlemen, they also find or for example choose the ambassador that coming from the K-pop industry that have a white skin, ladies and gentlemen, because of they know the moment they are using the ambassador that coming from the K-pop industry that already have a good physical and so on and so forth, it will attract more demand from the society. Then that's to say we are against those things, ladies and gentlemen. They also talks about this K-pop industry talk about the supply demand that they need, ladies and gentlemen. But we talk that the moment they only defend the customer that already conservative towards the beauty standard itself, ladies and gentlemen, the customer that coming to those K-pop industry is only people that already shape their mind that it is beauty is the most thing that I have to be, ladies and gentlemen. But in our side, is it good because of woman, even dark, for example, or even white, for example, we'll choose all of the things that coming from the K-pop industry itself, ladies and gentlemen. So it is the things that we have talked about in opposition side, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, the questions that's coming from the questions that we have to explain in this motion, also how we are aggressively opposed and also why should only K-pop industry that we have to against, ladies and gentlemen. The opening opposition says about the moment we are doing aggressively opposing towards the K-pop industry itself, ladies and gentlemen, it will create bad image or hampering the image of the feminist itself, ladies and gentlemen. But we say that it will not happen, ladies and gentlemen, because even the moment we are already the moment we can aspirate our voice in front of the society, we can acknowledgeable people how about the standard itself that happen in the society, ladies and gentlemen. At least the discussion that happen in the society about what choice that we have to choose in terms of our skin, in terms of ourselves, will be there, ladies and gentlemen. The moment this aggressively opposed to the K-pop industry will not happen, people tend to think the K-pop industry is the things that they have to dream until the end of the day, that then there will be no discussion about the beauty standard itself, ladies and gentlemen. But several extension towards opening government, they already talk more about how the beauty standard itself, ladies and gentlemen. But in this debate, we will talk about how does the beauty standard really affect women in the job, ladies and gentlemen. The moment those things, for example, standard that already be the requirement of the corporation in terms of job and so on and so forth, ladies and gentlemen, those intelligence that really needed by this corporation will not be there, ladies and gentlemen, because they only think about the moment you have a white skin, you have a long hair and so on and so forth. It is the things that the corporation need, ladies and gentlemen. But the moment those intelligence and so on and so forth will not be the requirement in the corporation itself, ladies and gentlemen, it will create the politics or another agency in education, because of they think the moment you want to be success, you only have to be beautiful, ladies and gentlemen. You only have to follow the standard, for example, white skin, for example, or long hair and so on and so forth, ladies and gentlemen. These standards are really bad, ladies and gentlemen, because of the moment those standards are really using by the company itself, ladies and gentlemen. People in other set that already, for example, that already smart and so on, but they didn't have the privilege, for example, in terms of white skin or long hair or physical good things, ladies and gentlemen. They cannot enter to those things because of there is standard that already create as the government, as the corporation. The moment you enter, you have to follow the good physical things that already create in the society, ladies and gentlemen. We also talk about the insecurities that are already talked by the opening government. For example, they talk more about the moment we cannot enter the community because of we are different with the community. But let's talk about another hub that will create, ladies and gentlemen. For example, they also will get for verbal abuses or physical abuses that happen in the society, ladies and gentlemen. Not only the moment you want to entering to those another community, but you also will get verbal abuses, for example, that happen in the Asian woman, ladies and gentlemen. You also will get physical things, for example, rape and so on so forth, ladies and gentlemen, because of you are different in terms of the community, ladies and gentlemen. So those insecurities based on the DB2 standard is really bad to begin with, because of it's not only talk about the woman that already have a privilege and so on so forth, but also to the woman that don't have any kinds of privilege to begin with, ladies and gentlemen. The opening government, the opening oppositions also talk about the option and so on so forth. For example, there are Western people and so on so forth, Western and another. But you say that the things that coming from the Western is not famous as the K-pop itself, ladies and gentlemen. That's to say the moment we have focusing from the moment. That's to say we have to focusing to the K-pop industry, ladies and gentlemen, because of how the K-pop industry really portrayal bad standardization and so on so forth towards the society, ladies and gentlemen. Even if there is the inclusivity that coming in from the opening government, it will not happen, ladies and gentlemen, because of those options only coming from the majority, but not coming in our set. So that's why we are proud to oppose.
Ladies and gentlemen, so what makes this kind of issue is crucially important to be debated is that how the effect of the K-pop itself influence within around the world itself, ladies and gentlemen. So OG already told you that it is because the glorification and so on and so forth, but unfortunately the opening government didn't explain more about how the glorification itself works within the status quo itself, ladies and gentlemen. And then let's see extend this kind of things, ladies and gentlemen. So basically, so what makes this kind of things glorified within the status quo itself? First, it is because of the affection that always sent through social media itself, ladies and gentlemen. So how the social media always glorify what the things. How the women become beautiful, so what is the standardization of beautiful, and so on so forth, ladies and gentlemen. So this is like the things that crucially important to be debated, ladies and gentlemen, because the glorification is always happening not only in social media but also within the society that always compare you whether or not you are beautiful and etc., ladies and gentlemen. But before that, several responses toward opening oppositions, ladies and gentlemen. So basically the opening oppositions already told to us that basically there are already diversity in K-pop industry itself, ladies and gentlemen. But you remember, you have to note that there are still disparity of domination within the K-pop industry itself, ladies and gentlemen. And then we believe that people will tend to follow the industry that dominate within those corporations, ladies and gentlemen. So let's say like the company that dominate is the K-pop industry that dominate is that the one that promotes the moment when you beautifully is that you have to be have a white skin and so on and so forth, ladies and gentlemen. And then what is the implication of this kind of things, ladies and gentlemen? It will harm the society because they have to force themselves to follow those kind of standardizations, ladies and gentlemen. And then what's happened after that, ladies and gentlemen? We believe that it will lead them first physical abuse and then also unproductive consumerism. Let's talk about the physical abuse, ladies and gentlemen. So because they see that those kind of K-pop industry show that the moment when you want to be acknowledged as a beautiful person, you have to thin, you have to make your skin white and so on and so forth. So that's why the people that didn't have those kind of skin will force themselves to have those kind of to have those kind of things. Like I know, we believe that it will make them force themselves to do like surgery and to force themselves to have like extra diet and so on and so forth, ladies and gentlemen. And then, second of all, it will lead to the unproductive consumerism, ladies and gentlemen. Even if the opposition said that this is like productive consumerism, but in our side we believe that not all of the people can be able to do this kind of consumerism, and then they will force themselves to do the consumerism itself, ladies and gentlemen. And then second of all, they said that this K-pop industry intertwined with the economic itself, ladies and gentlemen. So it's totally better because it will also improve the economic itself, ladies and gentlemen. But why it's still problematic to begin with, ladies and gentlemen? Because first, it will create understand that the thing that you want to be the only thing that you are going to be seen as a successful person is that not by your intelligence, but you have to be like actor or actresses, or you have to be beautiful, like my previous speaker already told you before, ladies and gentlemen. And then what is the extent negative things of this kind of things, ladies and gentlemen? We believe that not all of the people can access this kind of things, ladies and gentlemen, because we believe that a human being is so diverse, ladies and gentlemen, and then you cannot force them to fit with one standardizations, ladies and gentlemen. And then what happens if those kind of the people cannot fit in with those kind of standardizations, ladies and gentlemen? It will not only disincentivize them. It will not only disincentivize them to join in like politics, like my previous speaker already told you before, but also indirectly it will affect the policy that coming from the government itself, ladies and gentlemen, such as ladies and gentlemen, such as in terms of giving scholarship, in terms of giving scholarship, in terms of giving funding towards women agency and so on and so forth, ladies and gentlemen, because the government think that the only way that you are going to gain profit is that you no longer need to involve in politics and so on and so forth, but you only focus on the your beauty and so on and so forth, which is totally harmful to begin with, ladies and gentlemen. And then extension coming from my previous speaker. So basically, it's crucially harm, especially the women agency itself, ladies and gentlemen, because it will make the women itself feel insecure, because there will be always pressure that coming not only from the social media but also coming from the society itself, ladies and gentlemen, meaning that you cannot escape from this kind of things, ladies and gentlemen, because it will happen in our daily life. How the social media portray this is like a beautiful woman, this is like you have to fulfill this kind of standard and so on and so forth. Therefore by opposing those kind of K-pop industry, at least in our side, we try to change the mindset of the people itself. Comparatively, in opposition side of the house, first there will always discrimination because they never do anything, ladies and gentlemen. With this, we believe that Sigit should take this debate. Thank you.